So today we're gonna relocate this to over there, but we're gonna cheat. And this car has been at work and we push it in and out and it sits in the rain. So a bunch of dirt and shit gets in there, so don't mind that. So this is on, off, on, and we're gonna flip it this way. So that's on, and you pull it that way and it's off. And I just bought a pull cable. I'll put the link in the description to this, and we're just gonna drill a hole, which I already did. This thing is aluminum, and we're gonna go across just like that, run it, mount it with these holes all the way across and up the driver's side. Heating up a piece of metal so it's easier to bend. So I got my first hole drilled. I'm not drilling the next one because I don't know where I want to put it. I don't want it to interfere with this. So we got this, but this black shield is too long, so we're gonna have to do something with that. I figured out the placement and the bolt. So it comes with this little bracket. God, this is so gross. I'm sorry, guys. And my first thought is I wanted to put it there, but this stud wasn't long enough. So I took the screw out, which is actually a pretty long screw, and put it right there. So when the hood is down, pull cable's right here. And the red one was out of stock, so I had to go with black. So we might do something different with this. But moving along, filming by myself and working by myself, and see how this will go. My next thing I'm gonna do is, we have these cool zip ties, which are like a factory style. So you find a hole and pop them in, and then you can hold it down nice and tight and slim. So I'm gonna drill this weather stripping out, these weather stripping holes out bigger so I can mount there all across. What we got so far, got 2 holes drilled. They just pop in like that. And now they are one-time use, but should be good. I'm gonna run them like that way. And I don't want to tighten them down because I'm just test fitting, because I still got to shorten this black cable, which I don't know how I'm gonna be able to do. I have an idea, but we'll see if it works. Jesus, it looks so gross. Okay, here's what I got. So 1, 2, 3, 4 zip ties, which when they're all tight will hold really nice and clean on that line, which is what I'm all about. I'm down for that. But this is all the way out here and I need to move it here. So I'm gonna try to cut this and see how that goes. I might ruin it, or it might be perfect. And I have that backwards. I gotta flip that back around. But we'll see. So right now this is on. And you pull it and it'll be off. So I gotta figure out where I wanna put that, but we're going for it. So to figure out where to cut this, I don't need this in here because I'm not ready to cut that yet. Let's go here. And pull it all the way out. You can probably use an angle grinder, but I'm gonna try this first. It's a brake line cutter. And technically that's a brake line for a bike, so we'll see if that works. That didn't work because this is a spring pretty much in there, so it's all flexible, or that's why it's flexible. So the brake line blade would just catch the groove and get off track because it would follow the spring coil. So I'm gonna try that. So this right here is the same gauge as my little bracket, and this thin stuff is about the same gauge as the car. So I'm gonna mess around, try to get the machine dialed in before I actually just do it on the car. Here's the setup. anti-fires, anti-fucking windshields up, and motors. So, yeah, we're gonna put it somewhere right around there. And if I nut certed it, there'd have to be a bolt underneath there, which I could do at Allen, but it would still probably hit, and I'm just like, fuck it, let's just weld it. I mean, it's real easy. So let's see how this goes. So I was playing around with different settings. This is what I first started out with. It looks too cold, so I kept turning it up. And then here I was getting some penetration that I wanted. And then over here I was just playing around. So I went with this because it looks the best. Burnt my finger. I think I'm just gonna spot this in. So there's one. Now I can take this off because I have it where I want it. So now it's becoming part of the car. 4 tacks without paint. So that's what it's gonna look like. I don't have this through because it won't fit because I haven't trimmed it yet. But to trim it exactly how I like, let's get that to actually where it's gonna be. That one don't matter. So to get this fitting perfect, all I have to do is cut it right there. I'm gonna put a piece of tape there and cut it. So I'm gonna cut it at the end of the electrical tape. Now it's cut. Next step is to put a small piece of electrical tape to hide the cut. And none of you would ever see it unless you watch this video. And now we can slide this guy up on there. Maybe a little bit of play like that. And we'll see how I like that. Last step is to trim this extra stuff and paint this, but now we're gonna test and see if it works. So I wanted this to pull, because it spins like that, so I wanted it to pull it back. So that's why I have this like that. I pulled my zip ties tight. I'm gonna get a razor blade and cut that as flush as possible so it looks good. So you can't even see the tape unless you look at it, which I'm not too concerned about. Down across, and right there. So I'll pull a cable and see if it works. Boom. Battery's turned off, and it worked. And I didn't have to pull it that hard, so it still works good. So I just made it shorter, and here it is. So looking at this, I can see this as being a failure point. So I either need to periodically check it or put some kind of thing behind it to make sure it never falls off. So we'll see. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet. So we're ready to paint. Got some random basic white paint, which is what this car is. I like to call it refrigerator white. Shake this up for like 2 minutes and give her a spray. There's my little bracket. So there you have it. Give it 6 months and that will match. We got my zippies holding my wire down. And they don't look half bad. Works exactly like it should. Let's cross that off the list. Here's what it looks like from the other side. Bunch of hood clearance. Then you just go over here. Grab the thingy. Let's see if I can get it both. Sick. I'd say it works.